Pleased to be joined by the recipient of the Wittenberg Hall of Honor Lifetime Achievement Award, and that is Coach Jim Render. Coach, thanks for taking some time with us as we celebrate an outstanding coaching career for you and look back a little bit at your time as a Wittenberg Tiger. First of all, you know quite a bit about the history of Wittenberg athletics and football in particular, having been on campus during the heyday of the football program in the 1960s. What does this mean to you to get a Lifetime Achievement Award from a place like Wittenberg?
Well, it's a marvelous honor, Scott. First of all, I played with a lot of great football players, and a lot of deserving guys for awards and honors. And so to be given a Lifetime Achievement Award for my time at Wittenberg and I guess for my career is quite a thrill. My uncle, Ike Truby, was a teammate at Wittenberg of Bill Edwards, and I accepted his Hall of Honor award when he went in. And when he passed away, I asked if I could have the Wittenberg trophy. So among my plaques and so forth is I'm happy to have Uncle Ike's Hall of Honor award, and to be thought of in that kind of category is very humbling.
You actually started your college career at Northwestern and then came to Springfield and became a Wittenberg Tiger. How did you end up on campus at Wittenberg, and what was it like when you first arrived?
Well, we had the family connection between our family and Bill Edwards. So Eric Parsegan had finally determined that I was a little short for the Big Ten. So I made the call to Wittenberg to see if it was possible to transfer. And then, I got there, and that was Gary Tranquil's senior year. And of course, I was ineligible that year because of the transfer rules. So, it was fun to watch watch Gary and Jim Worden and some marvelous athletes. Bob Cherry was my roommate for a while. So it was a good transition.
And of course, that was at a time when the Tigers were not only winning games, but winning all their games and dominating in the OAC. When you came to Wittenberg, what were the expectations like? What was it like, to be part of one of the best programs in the country at that level?
Well, it was great. In my coaching career, I'm going to digress a little bit, but I've rubbed elbows with several Hall of Famers. I was a graduate assistant under Bobby Bowden. My high school coach was in the Hall of Fame in both Ohio and Southern California, and of course, Eric Parsegan. But to come to Wittenberg and be with Bill Edwards and Davey Maurer, both Hall of Famers, they had quite an impact, on my playing days, and my coaching career was always impacted by things that I learned from them.
So then, of course, your coaching career kind of takes off here in Ohio with a couple of stops, eventually going to Pennsylvania to Upper St. Clair, where that program becomes a powerhouse. What was that journey like? And, what are some of the, other than maybe 2 state championships, that's pretty obvious, but what are some of the highlights for you during your coaching career that you look back on?
Well, I started my head coaching career at Carrollton, Ohio, and I was there for a couple of years, and the Uniontown, Pennsylvania job became open, and then some of my friends from West Virginia who had Western PA ties encouraged me to apply for the Uniontown job. So I did that, and I wound up getting that job. And my original intent was, I thought, well, I'll go down to Pennsylvania for 2 years. and then I'm going to, get my fanny back to Ohio. Well, that's almost 50 years ago. A side story, when I was in school, Gary Tranquil and Bob Sindrich and Rich Weslowski, these guys were all from Western Pennsylvania. And so we used to argue in the dorms almost on a daily basis about the values of Ohio football and Western Pennsylvania football. So Western PA was probably the last place on earth I thought I'd ever spend my career. But, it doesn't always work out the way we plan things. And I've come to enjoy Pittsburgh. Back in my Ohio days, I thought Columbus, Ohio was the greatest city in the world. And then when my high school coach went to Southern California, I thought San Diego was wonderful. Mm-hmm. But then I discovered Pittsburgh, which is, I like to tell people I was in Ohio when Jim Brown was at the height of his career. And when he retired, I moved to Pennsylvania and got in on the Steelers' 4 Super Bowls at that time. And Chuck Noll lived in Upper St. Clair. So I've been very fortunate in the people I've rubbed elbows with.
And during that time, over 400 wins, only 29 high school coaches to reach that honor. And I know you were recognized for that at a Steelers game, right? So that had to be a pretty neat moment. And I'm sure that once you hit 400 wins, you probably heard from a lot of former players reaching out and congratulating you.
Well, the Steeler thing was a surprise. I went down there under a different set of circumstances. I thought I was the coach of the week, I never dreamed that I have a beautiful, they gave me a beautiful framed jersey with the number 400 on it. And so that was a unique surprise. And then, yes, you're right. I've heard from a lot of former players, and that's really the best part. When you hear from the players, and I've been very fortunate in the guys that I've had on my teams, including my 2 sons played for me. So it was a good ride.
Well, I know that having talked to many coaches over the years, those relationships that you form with the other coaches on your staff, the players, watching them grow up and kind of become adults and have families of their own. I know that's one of the highlights of being in the coaching ranks and having such a long and successful career like you did. I would think that there are plenty of those circumstances where you've had a chance to watch a lot of young men, grow up and become husbands and fathers and great members of society.
Well, you're absolutely right. We have a magazine in Upper St. Clair called USC Today. And I've always enjoyed writing. So about 5 years ago, I started writing for the magazine. And what I do is a lot of my players, as you mentioned, have gone on to have marvelous careers of their own. I'm talking about doctors, lawyers, and financial planners. Sean Lee is a professional football player for the Dallas Cowboys. So anyhow, I write for the magazine, and I highlight and profile these guys that played at Upper St. Clair High School, played for me, but more importantly, they've gone on to have marvelous careers and very successful people. So I enjoy writing about not my tenure, but theirs, and it's a good hobby.
Looking back when you were on the Wittenberg campus and you've got Bill Edwards and Davey Maurer coaching you and you're around so many tremendous players, at what point did you realize that you wanted to make football your life, that you wanted to go into the coaching ranks and be in the game of football for as long as you could?
Well, it goes way back. I mentioned my uncle, Ike Truby, who played at Wittenberg and coached with Bill Edwards. So he was a big influence when I was like in the 7th grade, and I knew I wanted to head in that direction. And then my high school coach was a major influence as well. So I knew I wanted to be involved in football going way back, and Bill Edwards and Davey Maurer were certainly a part of that. And I coached a young man at East Liverpool when I first got out of Wittenberg. His name was Darrell Herring, who's also in the Wittenberg Hall of Honor, and I was there to present him in 1989 at that banquet. So, and he recently, unfortunately, passed away in Springfield. So, just another marvelous athlete and part of my football life.
Well, Jim, congratulations on earning the Lifetime Achievement Award. Well deserved after a coaching career of nearly 50 years, 400 plus wins. Thanks for taking some time with us, and we appreciate everything that you have contributed to the game of football as an alum of Wittenberg.
Well, thank you very much. The honor is mine, and I've enjoyed. I'm sorry that they had to postpone that banquet on campus. I was looking very much forward to being there, but this has been fun, so we'll make the best of it.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Scott.